Land reclamation is the process of creating new land from the sea. The simplest method of land reclamation involves filling the area with large amounts of heavy rocks and cement. Then, filling with clay and soil until the desired height is reached. The draining of submerged wetlands is often used to reclaim land for agricultural use.
Essentially, reclamation means that you will take soil from a place and then build up an area in the marine environment to build as artificial island, meaning the original ecosystem that is available will be destroyed to make into an island. So what does it affect? How does it create pollution? First and foremost, you will surely destroy a natural ecosystem, which is very important for natural breeding ground for fishes and other marine animals. That is the first one. Secondly, the process of reclamation involves a lot of transport of soil and also involves a lot of dredging under the sea. By that, it means there will be outflow of a lot of sediment that will be sedimenting our ocean, and you will see that's why some areas in Penang now do not have really clear water. So that's number two. And number third, by building artificial structures in our coastal line, a lot of biodiversity will change. I would not say whether you will increase or decrease, but generally we know that by creating artificial coastal lines, it is not very good for natural biodiversity to inhabit in such habitat because it is unnatural. So our role as university and especially as CMAX, Center for Marine and Coastal Studies in USM, our role is very clear. We are not going against, nor we are protesting it. Our role here is to make sure all the development goes according to sustainability, meaning whatever is promised in EIA. So in the environmental impact assessment, there are certain measures that you promise. If you destroy certain area, you need to conserve certain area. All of these requirements needs to be met. So our role is to check and balance, as a check and balance, as an eye for the check and balance. So we want to play a role to make sure that any development that is happening should go according to the term sustainability. So it must be good for the economy, must as well as take care of the environment in the same time. We have the knowledge on telling the authority or telling the development that certain things goes wrong. So we do not regulate the law, but I think the way we can contribute is to tell you what is going to happen. If the certain pollution is over the limit, we are the person that is going to tell you, going to feed the information, whether it is to the authority or to the developer. So our way is not about enforcing the law, but trying to make people to think about how to work together so that we can build, or if you want to develop a certain area, how do we do as best to accommodate the environment. We cannot say we do not want to develop, but yet how do we find a way that we develop in a way that everybody will benefit, including the natural ecosystem will benefit from the development.
Land reclamation is big business in Malaysia. Money is made from selling plots of newly created land from the sea to developers. Several states in the peninsula have introduced large-scale reclamation initiatives, many strategically placed in prime locations. But do the public know about this planning before it was started?
In terms of any projects, development project that is coming up, we as citizens, we have a right to look into the development plans. So that is under the Town and Country Planning Act. You have the structure plan, the local plan, and yeah, so that is coming out. And then we also have the National Physical Plan. Yeah, so in terms of the National Physical Plan, whatever is planned at the national level, it is also the state and at the local level will be the local authorities, those are the municipal councils. They will also have to adhere to the National Physical Plan. So we have all this avenue to provide our comments. Yeah? So because under the Town and Country Planning Act, all these plans, they will have to be displayed to the public, and the public has the right to comment, and also there will be a public hearing. If there are a lot of people who are protesting or objecting certain things, then there's a public hearing, where you have the panel, review panel to hear our grievances. But in the case of this Penang reclamation project, especially the Penang South reclamation project, there was this Penang Structure Plan 2020 does not mention the huge scale 4,500 acre reclamation project in the southern part of Penang Island. So we had raised these issues even when the first EIA was submitted by the project proponent, which is the state government. We had also raised the issue because it is not in the structure plan. So if you don't have it in the structure plan, you should not go ahead with the whole project. So what the Penang state government did was they had amended the structure plan, and then they say, okay, this is a new amendment and this will be valid till 2030. And they put whatever projects that was not in the 2020 structure plan, they had included that in the 2030 plan. And a lot of civil society organizations, NGOs, communities had raised our objections, but our objection was not considered. Yeah, seriously considered. Most of it was not considered at all, and they planning to go ahead with gazetting the structure plan. Because one of the requirements of the Physical Planning Council is that any development projects that is in the structure plan, you need to have it in the structure plan, then only you can go ahead.
In Penang, there are three main land reclamation projects, which is Seri Tanjung Pinang Phase 1, Phase 2, and PSR. What is Penang citizens' point of view towards the reclamation projects in Penang?
Bagi saya, penambakan laut ni macam menyebabkan kerosakan banyak jugalah untuk laut lah. Macam satu, bagi kita macam nelayan pun akan terjejas lah sumber pendapatan dia. Kedua, macam pemancing, nak cari tempat memancing pun sekarang dah payah, sebab sini pun ikan dah kurang kat belah sini semua. Sebab ikan kita dah tambah laut, jadi ikan pun dah kurang datang belah sini. So bila dia tambak, nelayan pun akan hilang punca pendapatan. So banyak masalah akan timbul jugalah. Patut kurangkan lah, sebab nampak Pulau Pinang pun tak nampak macam Pulau Pinang yang dalam map kita dah sekarang ni. Jadi lebih baik kurangkan lah. Banyak sangat lah dia orang tambak, banyak tempat dah terjejas sekarang ni.
Yes, actually, lately I think the amount of reclamation projects, I can say that it is quite excessive, right? It's not just over here. I think over in Gurney.
Yeah.
And then I heard that they are going to build LRT train projects or something along the southern end. So it is like, how do I put it? They are building these condominiums or luxury apartments, and most of them will be purchased by foreign expats, right? It's not that a big number of locals can afford it. And there lies the problem when you have so much reclamation projects. You are taking over space that is supposed to be the space for the seas, so the water levels will rise. That's why our flood in Pinang is getting worse and worse. And then somehow I think everything is kind of short-term profit. They are building whatever they can just to rake in the profits at the moment, but what will happen in future is none of their concern. That's my way of seeing it. In the past, when I was a small kid, Gurney was a very nice place. Now everything is spoiled already, and for photographers like us, we get less and less places to take nice pictures also.
A lot of words have been done as objection to this land reclamation plan, but the plan is still going on as planned.
Dan ini bermakna bahawa permohonan pihak kerajaan negeri untuk melaksanakan Penang South Reclamation sekarang diberi kelulusan EIA dengan 72 syarat untuk dipatuhi, dan memandangkan baru dapat kelulusan ini, kita memerlukan masa untuk menelitinya, dan mungkin pada minggu akan datang kita akan mengeluarkan kenyataan yang lebih lengkap lah.
Beginning itself, when the state was still doing the survey, they did not inform the community people. What we are the ones who first disclosed that survey is going on at this site, and we want the state government to explain what is going on. So at that time, the chief minister at that time was mentioning, do not speculate, we don't have anything, we're not doing anything over that site. But 2 weeks later, the state executive councillor, who is now the Penang chief minister, he said, oh yes, we are planning to do something here, and then right now we are surveying several areas in the coastal areas in Penang to check where exactly would be the best place to start off this reclamation project. This issue has also been raised in the parliament by parliamentarians, and so we are not sure what's going to happen. And these books were also sent, document was sent to all the members of the National Physical Plan Council, which comprises of the Prime Minister, a few ministers, and also all other state chief ministers, Menteri Besars. And so after going through this document, and 2 people from Penang Forum had also gone and presented in front of the Physical Plan Council. So the Physical Plan Council came up with 18 conditions that the Penang state government has to comply if they want to go ahead with this project. So they will have to comply all those conditions first. And then the EIA, the first EIA was rejected. The consultant was asked to prepare more comprehensive fisheries impact assessment. So that was prepared in the middle of this year. The second EIA was out for display, and we had given our comments. Fishermen had given our comments, but then sad to say that the EIA was still approved. They did not consider the objections. And we found that there are some weaknesses in the EIA, but these weaknesses are still not being sorted out by the state. But the Department of Environment gave 72 conditions for the state to comply with, because the state is the project proponent. So they will have to comply with all the 72 conditions if they go ahead with the project.
Our oceans and seas continue to be negatively affected by coastal development and land reclamation projects. Hundreds of hectares of fishing grounds and marine habitat have disappeared due to the craze for reclamation. Reclamation activities affect the composition of biodiversity through the destruction of ecosystems such as coral reefs, seagrass meadows, and mudflats. Coastline changes in the coastal areas due to the reclamation will impact the local community in that area. Local fishers, whose livelihood and source of income dependent on the fishing industry, are adversely impacted due to land reclamation. The quality of life of nearby residents might affect due to noise pollution and air pollution by reclamation development.
Fishing village at Seri Tanjung Pinang is one of the fishing villages affected by land reclamation. The community stay in that area are mostly fishermen.
Start daripada 5 tahun yang lalu, yang lepas, pendapatan nelayan kurang. Tak macam daripada zaman sebelum tambak. Dulu sebelum tambak kita boleh tangkap satu hari lebih kurang 100 kilo satu hari. Ini hari sekarang mau dapat 15 kilo pun susah. Sudah dapat dah dalam 6 kilo, 7 kilo satu hari. Banyak kurang. Dulu ikan banyak, udang banyak, ketam banyak, coral pun, siput-siput itu shell pun banyak. Sekarang shell sudah tak ada. Ketam sudah kurang. Ikan lagi kurang. Pasal apa? Tempat dia duduk sudah orang musnah. Dia punya coral, dia punya coral, tempat dia duduk cari makan. Sana dia ada coral, makanan banyak. Kalau dia sudah selut, masuk, habis. Apa ikan pun tak ada. Ketam pun tak ada. Ikan pun tak ada. Kalau net sudah jatuh dalam sana, kalau net sudah kena ikan, dia ikan sudah mati. Dia punya itu selutnya itu mati lah. Dia punya power lebih kuat. Pasal dia sudah tenggelam, ikan sudah tak boleh menyawa. Kalau dia duduk atas pasir, ikan masih boleh menyawa, masih hidup. Bukan tak boleh buat projek, boleh buat projek. Tapi kalau dia gunakan piling macam buat jambatan, ikan masih ada tak rosak laut. Ikan boleh duduk tempat sana ada coral, boleh sembunyi sana, boleh bertelur di sana. Dia boleh tak itu ikan boleh bertelur, boleh menambah pendapatan. Sekarang bila dia tambak laut, itu laut sudah jadi pasir. Itu tempat ikan duduk metam sudah tak ada. Dia bila dia tambak pasir atas laut, itu tempat pasir, selut semua sudah lari tahu. Pecah pergi lain tempat coral semua. Coral semua mati. 13,000 lama mana abang pakai. Kita tak boleh beli boat, engine boat pun satu engine boat ini macam sudah 15,000, bagi 13,000 boleh beli lah. Engine boat kena beli cash. Tak masuk sampan tu baru engine. Kalau masuk sampan dengan engine kurang-kurang 30,000.
Fish is the main source of protein for Malaysia. Nowadays, the fish price is increasing and getting more expensive than before due to decline in fish stock and other issues like pollution and development which affecting the fish breeding ground.
Although laws and regulations have been ratified to reduce threats to the marine environment, they have not been sufficiently to manage a proper and efficient resource development and utilization. Effective management is urgently needed to achieve a healthy, clean and productive aquatic environment for both the present and future generations. Do you think Penang really need these reclamation projects? Will these reclamation projects improve Penang citizens' life and state development?